Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. You know on my last garden tour, I asked you to put questions in there that you may want to hear my advice. I don't want to say the right way, it's just my advice or my method. And there is one I want to get to right away, and the questions have been phenomenal and wonderful. But lettuce is a big one that I wanted to address. Now, why do I want to address this right now? Because they always go around as I'm doing the garden tours or talking on the deck or wherever I am that I grow lettuce. And I bought it once and I have never bought the seeds again. The lettuce that I grow, which you can see here in a medicine bottle, it's a method I'm using right now, is romaine lettuce. Now you can do the same with, let's say, butter lettuce, a red leaf lettuce, curly lettuce, any of those that grow big and fluffy like this. I'm not talking about iceberg. I know a lot of you like to go to the store and buy a great big iceberg lettuce. The problem is it takes months and months to get to that big. Now, if you want to go and buy tons of fertilizer, synthetic fertilizer, all that stuff, and put it in your food and have Frankenstein vegetables, that's up to you, because it would take a long time. And when you're getting it from a commercial farmer, they are feeding them tremendous amounts of plant food. And then they also have to use tons of pesticides because it takes a while to get that big and that compressed to grow. And you want to know something? It's not even as good as these green lettuces that you can grow. Let's get back to romaine lettuce and why I love it so much. I made eggs this morning with this. Yeah, I use it to cook with as well. I make salad, I make tacos, anything I want to add greens to, sandwiches, I've got this lettuce. Now, I am only growing, well, it's kind of not true. Let me say that. I'm only growing this romaine lettuce. I do have a red leaf growing. I do have a butter lettuce growing, I think, and there's a curly leaf, but I'm not going to let it go to seed. Now, once my lettuce goes to seed, here, it's open pollinated, which means I'm going to get the same lettuce. But even with an open pollinated type plant, it doesn't mean you're going to get the same if you have two plants side by side. Tomatoes, that's a big one. You can have a beautiful cherry tomato and a pear tomato, the yellow ones next to each other. And some of those, or romaine or whatever, or Roma, or all the other ones, they can cross-pollinate. So the seeds may grow a tomato, but it may not be what you grew. If I grew this, like I did my celery, a lot of you who follow me know that my celery now is all red and kind of messed up. Well, I don't want to do it to the lettuce. So if I did this with my lettuce and I let the red lettuce, the red leaf one, go and produce flowers and pollen and they cross-pollinated, I would lose this. Now, I bought it once, I grew it once, and I have just generations and generations of the same lettuce that grows here so happily that I leave the seeds out on the stalk of the plant, the ones I'm letting go to seed. I let the birds forage on it and bees and other beneficial insects, whoever gets to it. Then at the end, when it's all dried up, I crush it and I put it in anything that's got good soil. And it could be potting soil, anything. I just crush it up and water it. You don't even have to bury it. It will go underneath the soil and you'll end up with all this lettuce and you'll have all of them identical, provided they're not cross-pollinating with another lettuce. I've never had any of them cross-pollinate. Because I only grow this one type and let it go to flower, this is all I get. And this is from probably 6 or 7 years ago when I planted it. It's been good all this time. So all my lettuce seeds are identical. This plant is probably about 2 to 3 weeks old. They grow so incredibly fast. And you can harvest from this immediately. I could cut this all off and go put it in a sandwich or just take the outer leaves off. This is why I like romaine lettuce. It's healthier than iceberg. It grows phenomenally fast and you'll have it forever. You really will. You keep the seeds, let it go to seed after a while, keep those seeds, and you can keep the cycle of life of lettuce going in your garden. Because some of you have asked me, oh, I want to grow iceberg. It's going to take a lot of work. You're going to have to make sure you cover it with tulle. Now, I do cover my lettuce with tulle. Sometimes I don't. I may get some whitefly. I just wash it off. but I am doing all different methods now with lettuce, and you'll see as we go on this gardening season. Exciting things I have never done before, and it's working so good. I'm going to be passing it on to you. The point is, this grows faster, it grows better, and once you start growing it on your property, it becomes acclimated. So the seeds, the next generation, even grows better. And that's what's wonderful about growing a lot of your own seeds. Now, you can't really do it with everything. We can do it with a lot. But if you kept, let's say, squash seeds, different seeds from the, even melon seeds from the store, and tried to grow them, I've done it, they've been hybridized. Not only are a lot of them GMO'd, but they don't grow right. You don't get the same fruit when you're doing, let's say, a cantaloupe that you bought in the store and you grow it and you get this green, bitter tasting fruit. That's happened because they've been hybridized, and especially to grow on their farms one generation. But with lettuce, you get yourself your favorite lettuce. So be it romaine, plain old romaine lettuce, or let's say a red leaf lettuce, and you plant them and you only keep those close by, and you let them pollinate, you know, with the bees and everything, and let the birds eat some if you've got birds, and then you crush it up because you've got millions of seeds in one big flower head. You'll be able to have lettuce for pretty much your entire gardening life because the cycle will keep going. And you can dry them out, the seed heads, crush them up, put them in a paper bag, or plastic bag's okay, but you have to make sure it's not damp inside. If the seeds get damp, they'll mold. So paper bags are really good. Leave them in there, and in case you have snow and it's too cold to grow, you don't have a greenhouse, you don't want to grow it in your window. You can grow lettuce in the window. I've got it growing in the window. But at that point, you can wait till spring and start the cycle over by simply saving your own seeds. So the type of lettuce I grow is romaine. And going back to the celery, in case you're new or you haven't been with me or seen it, I had a celery seed type, just a plain celery I bought. It was green. It was growing wonderful, and it reseeds just like the lettuce does. And then I went and bought some red celery, and there's kind of a hot, peppery, to me, odd taste. Gary doesn't like it. I don't like it, but they cross-pollinated. Not only did they cross-pollinate and ruin my celery, my good green celery, I couldn't get rid of it. Once it cross-pollinated, even the ones that kind of look green, they weren't. I'm almost through with it now. It's taken years to stop the cross-pollination. So when I see red celery, if I want to keep it to eat, that's fine. But when I see that stalk coming up and it's going to start to flower, I cut it. Pretty much, I'm going to say 80% of the celery coming up now in our gardens around the yard here is green now. So I'm waiting for it 100%, and I'm just going to let it go forever. But that's why I want to tell you on the romaine, if you like romaine or whatever you want to grow, make sure you keep the one type. And this way you don't have to do any plant food. You know what I feed lettuce? My own compost tea. You can rot their own leaves. You can go around and collect weeds and soak it until it starts to rot. We'll get in the compost tea because compost tea is great, but it does spoil. It's not going to hurt your plants when it spoils. It's just not going to do much for your plants when it spoils. So we'll talk about that in another video. But compost tea, free fertilizer, that's all you need. And I've showed you to refresh the soil. If I want to use an old potting mix I've already used over and over, and all the nutrients are out, compost tea in the soil. It refreshes the plant. So I hope I've answered your question, and maybe, you know, this will get you thinking on other plants you're growing too, that sometimes it's good just to grow one type of your favorite plant so you can save the seeds, reap the benefits of having all the food you want on something you grew on your property, your deck, your garden, your windowsill. Doesn't matter, balcony. If you do it that way, you'll be gardening the same plant, the same generations for years to come. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. And boy, I'm telling you, I absolutely love this lettuce. It tastes so good. It's wonderful to eat, and it's the easiest thing to grow, and it costs me nothing. We'll talk about the medicine jars another time. Bye-bye. So good. Okay. I gotta go back and do hummingbirds. Yes, guys, I know.